Hello friends, welcome back to another thrilling episode of Investigators in Cars Drinking Coffee. I'm your host, Mark Murnane, president of Complete Legal Investigations in West Palm Beach, Florida, joined once again by my talented wife and partner, Wendy Straw Murnane, licensed private investigator, certified paralegal, author of the best-selling Getting Paid Manual, how to run a profitable PI business, available on our website at theprofitablepi.com. So today we're going to handle a topic we get a lot of questions about. How much should you charge? How much should you charge?
All right.
And we'll get to that in just a moment. First, a word from our sponsors at OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine, insurance for the working private investigator.
This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance nationwide. Get your quote at orep.org today.
So, how much should I charge? How much do you charge as a private investigator?
Well, that kind of goes with where you live and what the going rate is,
There you
and
go. All right.
make sure you're at the top of the going rate.
There you go. We want to position ourselves at that. Well, I've actually kind of calculated a formula.
Oh, okay.
Okay, A times B equals C. All right.
Oh.
Is that algebra?
No.
I think that's just basic math.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't good at any of it, so it didn't matter. I am good at addition and subtraction, though, so I know how much to charge. All right, so let's talk about what to charge, because this is obviously dependent on several circumstances. And the first condition that you must know about is you should discover the going rates in your area.
Yes.
The going rates in your area. Don't look at our area. We live on the Gold Coast of Florida, and one of the most expensive places out, to live at, other than, California or someplace. And the rates are going, and everything's going up because everybody's moving here.
And even Florida's different in different sections.
Different parts of
Yeah.
Florida. So coastal of
We're in
Florida.
the Palm Beach area.
We're in the Palm Beach, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area.
Yeah.
You're going to have to charge more. It costs you more to live.
Yeah.
However, if you are in Central Florida, North Florida, parts of the west coast of Florida, your rates may not be as high because that's a demographic and geographic adjustment.
Maybe.
Yeah. If you're in a metropolitan area along the East Coast, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New York, then your rates will be higher. Generally speaking, you'll find the rates to be higher. If you're in the Midwest, like friends of ours are in, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Montana, a friend of ours, Mike Toth, out there on the great upper Midwest, your rates may be substantially different.
Right.
So that is the first step. A is discover the rates, the going rates in your geographic area. B, your own level, determine your own level of experience. Are you a novice, brand new in the business? Are you an apprentice working for another private investigator? Your rates will be at the low end. However, if you are a journeyman, like an electrician, a journeyman, or even at the expert level, then your rates should be higher. So A times B, and if you make those two together, you're going to come up with C, which is the going rate in your area for your level of expertise.
Okay.
Now, do you adjust yourself towards the top or towards the bottom? And I think we already gave this away.
The top.
The top. Yeah.
Don't discount yourself.
Don't discount yourself.
Yeah.
If you have any level of experience, this is a highly transient profession. People are in, people are out. They come in for a little while, and then they go. If you have experience and you have a stable list of clientele, your rate should be at the upper end, if not at the top.
Right.
And I want to make a shout out to my friend Jerry Lyons, who's now up in Maryland, who told me to go ahead and raise my rates and see what people would do.
Okay.
And that was good advice.
Yes.
Jimmy Messis, the former publisher of PI Magazine, used to have seminars on how to give yourself a raise. You give yourself a $10 an hour raise.
Right.
Or whatever. So, have we ever struggled with finding a rate?
No, we really haven't.
Yeah.
I love the private work because we decide what rate we're going to charge. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing.
And if you're at the top end and you need to lower it periodically, it isn't such a big hit.
Right.
Now, however, I will tell you this, that the investigations business is not a transactional business like process service. So process service sometimes can be pretty cutthroat, and we have attorney firms who will, they'll go from one process server to another to save $5. And so they're driven by the bottom line. But when you're talking about investigative work and their clients' cases on the line, the attorney's reputation on the line, I tend to inch it higher.
Right, right.
So those are just some thoughts on the...
And in the billing manual, the Getting Paid manual, we do have a paragraph or a section on why your investigators are so valuable to that attorney. Exactly the value of your work. So don't devalue what you're doing.
Yeah, have a proper idea. Again, determined by the factor A is the geographic location where you're at and the going rates in that area. If every other PI in town is charging $65 an hour and you want to charge $150 an hour, you should be able to justify that. Or you might have to scale it back and move towards $75 an hour. However, if you are an expert in a higher metropolitan area, then your rates should be well above $100 or even $150 an hour. If you have the experience, if you're a journeyman or an expert with many, many years of experience, you should be at the top end.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid.
Right, and Mark put together a great handout that we put in our brochures to our new attorneys called the Return on Your Investment.
Yeah, the ROI. What's the ROI on your return on investigation? And we've used that numerous times here. If someone balks at spending $1,500 for a background check on a client, you just try to tell them, well, look, what do you got at stake? Well, I'm going to invest $100,000. Well, $1,500 is a pretty low investment to save yourself a lot of money.
Right, we just had that happen.
Yeah, exactly, for a client. So anyway, that's information is in the Getting Paid, Running a Profitable PI Business. That's our manual at theprofitablepi.com, theprofitablepi.com. So we urge you to go over to theprofitablepi.com, check out the manuals that are there, and think about your own rates, how you might justify a raise for yourself. And don't be afraid to slide down some comments. If you've got some your own experiences in setting rates for yourself, feel free to drop down in the comment section. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. But thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you again next time on theprofitablepi.com and Investigators in Cars Drinking Coffee. I almost forgot what we were.
And get paid.
And get paid.